On this video, I'm going to show you some advanced techniques for using your text and shaping your text. So I want to do some stuff where I might fill in the clothing or fill in the hair, and I want this to be a different texture or feel than what I'm going to do on the skin tones. So maybe for the skin tones, I'm going to use this large text and fill these things in, and then maybe for the hair or the clothing, I might do these in groups just so they feel a little bit different. So I'm going to start off with making a group of text where I stack it up like this. Now you could stack up a lot. You could type this multiple times or just once, because I have if you have a long quote, it might be very long, whatever. So I've typed this out into 2 lines. I basically just hit the enter tool here, or return, whatever it is on Mac, and then so I have both of these. And I want this to be tighter together though. So if I look over in my options, my tool options for text, it's hard to see on here, but basically there's 3 little options down in here. Okay. The first one, don't worry about it. That just slides over and indents it, but we're not going to do that. The second one makes these 2 groups closer. So if I go to the bottom arrow and I adjust this as the space between the lines, I'll hold this down. Watch the text up here in the middle as I do this. Okay, I'm going to hold down the bottom button. Go, click it, fine tune it. Alright, group that up. I can also set the space in between the letters on this next one down here. So once again, I'm going to tighten this up, bottom arrow, and I can squish that up. Okay, I can take this crazy tight. You could also loosen it out, depending on what you wanted. Okay, when I'm done, I'm going to close up the extra there, and that one's ready to roll. Here, move that down a little bit too. Whoop. Got a little bit too squished. Doesn't like that, I guess. Okay, not a problem. So there we go with that. Now the other thing I could do is I have this top one. You know what? Over here on the right, look at my layers. I've made this like a stack, and it's the same thing as I wrote before. So I'm going to rename this, and I'm going to write this dance ... because it's longer than that, longer quote, and then stack. Organization. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Okay. So let's see here. Now the next one, I've got this dance, the hidden language of the soul. I'm going to put something into her hair. Long, skinny line. This looks good for that. So I'm going to duplicate this layer. So I have 2. M for my move tool. Move this down. And I'm going to reshape this so it's skinnier. I want it to be a different texture. So I'm going to go to my resize tool. Okay, my scale tool, which is Shift T. And I'm going to squish this down. And it's also a little bit longer than I want. So I'm also going to squish it in. That looks good. Okay, so I'm going to use this for hair. Now, here it is over here. I'm going to duplicate this. Why? I'm going to do this a bunch. So, duplicate this down here. M for move. Drag it over here. Say OK. Reasonably OK. I'm going to rotate it. Shift R. See why the shortcuts make you faster, right? Rotate. M for move. Move this up here. OK, that looks pretty good as far as location goes. I did iWarp before. You'll probably have that too, so I go reshow iWarp. Okay, so I'm going to move my deform radius. I've got it moved up to 66. It's my guesstimate for what size it should be. I'm going to squish this in. That's right here. I'm going to curve this end out. Now, here I'm running into a problem. I can't really get into this corner. That's bugging me, okay? So I'm going to cancel this thing out. And this is actually the size of my layer, right here, that black and yellow line. I want to make this larger than it is. So I'm going to go to Layer. And the easy way is just go to Layer to Image Size. This just kind of makes the layer the entire image. I don't really want all that, but that's faster. I go to my square marquee, the rectangular select tool. And I'm going to select this with a little bit more space, a little more breathing room around that. Okay, now, once again, filters, reshow iWarp. Now you can see I've got a little more space to work with here. So let's try this again. So around hidden, just get squished in. Down here around dance. Okay, now I've got it doing what I want to do. Okay, I'm going to stretch this up around the top of her head. I think I want this a little bit smaller. Let's try this out. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, I want this down a little bit lower. That's fine. Filters, reshow, iWarp. You almost always have to do the iWarp twice. Don't sweat it too much. Okay, so I'm gonna move this down. Track that in. I was pretty happy with this. I'm going to bend this up here at the very end. Hit OK. I'm not too worried if I lose some of my legibility. Honestly, that's not my #1 priority here. That's pretty nice. That fits pretty good. Okay. So I can tell which one that is because it's highlighted over here. I'm going to reproduce that again. M for move. Move this down. Okay. And you can see I've got that there. If I want to make this feel a little bit different so it doesn't just feel like I'm just repeating the same thing over and over and over exactly the same. Ugh, boring, right? Reshow iWarp. Tap this down here at the end. Move this over. Not that much. Okay. Hit OK. Boom. A little bit of variety. Okay. I could type a couple different ones in here if I wanted to, or I could keep it the same. Kind of depends on the look. I think I get bored. I think I don't want to have a line going through this area. So I might change it up. Maybe take dance as the hidden and then do language of the soul as a separate one and mix it up. Okay. Now another one I could do, I've got this group here. Here, hold on. This one here, I'm going to hide this. I'm going to move this down to the basement. Okay. I'm going to take this and move it to the background. Get it out of the way so I can't see it. Not a problem. And what I'm going to do here is I've got, where's my stack? There's my dance stack. Okay. I'm going to take that, reproduce it, M for move, move it down here. Now this one, once again, I want to feel different than this. I might make it smaller. So I'm going to go to my scale tool, click on this. That's acting weird. Hold on 1 second. It's grabbing it wrong. Don't know why. You know what I'm going to do then? I'm going to select it. This usually seems to fix that problem if that happens. Don't know why it happened, but we're going to try it anyway. There we go. Alright. Problem solved. Alright, so I'm going to squish this down a little bit tighter. Hit scale. Alright. It got selected. It turned into a floating selection because it got transformed so much. Don't worry about it. Just hit your new layer button. Call it a day. Okay, so I'm going to go rotate this thing. Shift R. Rotate this in like this. Hit rotate. Hit move. Now I've got this thing in here. Now I probably would like it to kind of fit to the shape of these curves so it feels a little bit like fabric. Okay, filter. Reshow iWarp. Was that Shift Control F? Sorry for you guys, that's Command. You guys are on Macs. Okay. Control F. Command F for you guys. Okay, Command F. Let's see if it'll do that. Command F? It's not doing it. Whatever. Okay, fine. Do it the old-fashioned way. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to curve this thing. Yeah, you'll find that every once in a while GIMP will run into some twitchy things. Especially if you've customized it a little bit. We have customized it a little bit. I've got a little bit customized at home. Sometimes the shortcuts are multiple shortcuts and they just don't work right. It's okay. No panicking. Alright. So there we go. Give that a little bit curve. Make it feel like it's fabric. Bam. There we go. Okay. So that's the plan as far as advanced stuff. You can group stuff. Remember, you can pack things together, spread things out. You can make things long and skinny. Okay, and have some differentiation in your texture. Long, skinny textures, groups of textures. In my skin tones, big, larger textures. Whatever you want to do. Okay, there we go.